Every generation looks at Mars and sees the future, a second Earth, a new beginning, a place where humanity could survive if everything went wrong here. But Mars doesn't tell the story of our future. It tells the story of a civilization that never had the chance to exist. Because billions of years ago, Mars was not the frozen desert we know today. It was a world with rivers that carved valleys hundreds of kilometers long. Lakes reflected the sky. Rain may have fallen for millions of years. If you had stood there then, the landscape might have felt strangely familiar. Not identical to Earth, but alive. So, what happened?
Welcome aboard. How does an entire planet lose almost everything that made it habitable? To answer that question, we have to look beneath the surface. Every living planet has a heartbeat. Earth's heartbeat is hidden thousands of kilometers below our feet. A churning ocean of molten metal generates an invisible magnetic shield that protects every ocean, every forest, every living creature. Mars once had that shield too.
Then, its core slowly cooled. Its magnetic field collapsed. And from that moment, the planet began to die. The sun became its executioner. Every second, the solar wind slammed into the atmosphere. Tiny particles escaped into space. Not all at once, not in a single catastrophe, but grain by grain, year after year, million after million, until a thick atmosphere became a thin ghost. Without pressure, liquid water could no longer survive on the surface. The rivers disappeared, the lakes evaporated, the oceans either escaped into space or froze beneath the ground. Mars didn't explode, it simply faded away. Today, if you stepped onto its surface without protection, your body would immediately realize something is terribly wrong. The sky would not be blue. It would glow with a pale, dusty orange. The sun would appear strangely small. The horizon would feel unnaturally close. Every breath would be impossible. Not because there is no atmosphere, but because there is almost nothing left of it. The air is so thin that your lungs could never extract enough oxygen to survive. The silence would be unlike anything on Earth. On our planet, air constantly carries sound. Wind, birds, leaves, voices. Mars has almost none of that. Even if someone stood only a short distance away, your words would struggle to reach them. Imagine standing completely alone on an entire planet. Then comes the cold. Average temperatures hover around minus 60 degrees Celsius. But cold is only part of the problem. The real danger is invisible. Radiation. Earth quietly protects us every single day. Most people never think about it. Our magnetic field bends dangerous charged particles around the planet before they ever reach us. Mars has no such defense. Every day, cosmic radiation bombards its surface, enough to slowly damage human cells, increase cancer risks, and make long-term life on the surface almost impossible. If humans ever build cities on Mars, they probably won't build them under the open sky. They will bury them underground, inside caves, inside lava tubes, inside the planet itself. Not because it's exciting, because it's necessary. Then there is the dust. It covers almost everything, fine as smoke, sharp as broken glass under a microscope. It clings to equipment, damages machinery, invades every tiny opening. Some dust storms grow so enormous that they swallow the entire planet. For weeks, sometimes months, sunlight almost disappears. Imagine watching the outside world fade into a permanent reddish twilight while millions of tons of dust scrape endlessly across your shelter. No rain, no thunder, only silence and wind. Mars is beautiful, but it is a beauty completely indifferent to life. Yet, despite everything, we keep going back. Not because Mars is easy, because it is honest. It preserves the history that Earth erased long ago. Every dried riverbed, every ancient delta, every mineral formed in water whispers the same message. This world was different. And perhaps it wasn't always alone. Somewhere beneath the frozen soil, tiny traces of ancient microbial life may still be waiting. Not alive, but preserved, like fossils inside a time capsule billions of years old. Finding even the smallest evidence would change everything we know about life in the universe. Because if life emerged twice, once on Earth and once on Mars, then perhaps the universe is full of living worlds. But until that day comes, Mars remains something else. Not humanity's second home, not our greatest enemy, but the greatest reminder that planets are not eternal. Worlds can change. Oceans can disappear. Atmospheres can vanish. Life can lose its foothold. When we look at Mars, we're not just looking at another planet. We're looking at what happens when an entire world runs out of time. And perhaps that's the most important lesson the Red Planet has ever offered.